They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.
Good morning. Welcome back to Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. Yesterday, we ranked the Scream movies from worst to best. And today, we're going to do the same thing with the Rocky franchise, all 6 Rocky films, and all 3 Creed films. We're going to do 9 movies, worst to best, the Rocky franchise. And I think this is going to be a bit of a controversial video because a lot of you are not going to like what I have to say is the worst film in the Rocky franchise. And I'm sorry, but I stand by it. I got to be honest. I got to stand by what I believe. And I've been saying this since probably 1985. I'm going to keep saying it. Number 9, the worst film in the Rocky franchise, Rocky IV. Now, let me be very clear here. I enjoy Rocky IV. I think Rocky IV is a lot of fun. I really dig this movie. I especially the theatrical cut. The Rocky versus Drago cut. Wasn't as crazy about that. I mean, how are you going to get rid of the robot? But Rocky or the original Rocky IV, fun movie, very entertaining, very 80s. So why is it last on my list? Well, it's a cartoon. Nothing wrong with cartoons. I like cartoons. Cartoons are fun. I like Rocky IV. But it lacks the reality that most of the other films in the franchise have. Rocky feels real. Until this movie, where he kind of turns into a cartoon. It's mostly training montages. It just feels like it's montage after montage. There's one scene in the movie where we have a training montage. He comes back, finds Adrian waiting for him in the snow. They have a few words, and then we're immediately into the next training montage. There's more montage than movies here. I think if we took all the music out of the movie, all the musical montages, the movie might be like 20 minutes long. There's more music than story in this film. I do enjoy it, but it is the most cartoony of all the Rocky films and the less quote-unquote real. That's why I'm putting it dead last on my list. It's entertaining, yes, and in fact, if we're going for the most entertaining Rocky films, it might be number 1. It might be the most entertaining Rocky movie. But if we're going for actual quality, which is the best, gotta put it dead last. Number 9, Rocky IV. And I know that's gonna piss some of you off, but I'm sorry. I can only tell you what I believe to be true, and I think Rocky IV is the worst film in the franchise, which doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. Okay, number 8, one of the most maligned films in the franchise, a movie that is much better than it gets credit for, Rocky V. Rocky V doesn't always work, but it does show a real attempt from Sylvester Stallone to bring the film back to reality. It's like he knew how cartoony the franchise had gotten, and he's trying really hard to bring it back and make it more real world, where we see Rocky lose his fortune, go back to living in the city, kind of take it full circle, back where we first saw him in the first Rocky film, just a poor schlub from the city, and it's a pretty entertaining film. It's got some great one-liners in it. You knock him down. Let's see you try knocking me down. I don't do a good Stallone impression. But yeah, there's some really entertaining lines in here. Hey, you guys sit down. This ain't no pie-eating contest. I really like Rocky V for what it is. It is definitely not one of the better ones, which is why it's at number 8 on my list. But it's better than it gets credit for. So yeah, give Rocky V another viewing. It deserves another look. It's not a bad film. Number 7 on my list, Creed 2, the sequel to Creed, in which Ivan Drago comes back with his son Victor Drago. I really enjoyed this movie. It's not as good as the original Creed, but it's quite good. And it does kind of make Rocky IV a little bit better, like finding out like what happened to Ivan Drago after the events of Rocky IV kind of elevates Rocky IV just a little. This is a film that retroactively makes Rocky IV better. So yeah, Creed 2, good, entertaining sequel, and Stallone is really, really great in it. Really dig this one. Number 7, Creed 2. Number 6, playing in theaters right now, Creed 3. Creed 3 is really good. Check out my review. It was just posted maybe about a week ago. But Creed 3, in which Adonis Creed fights an old friend of his by the name of Damien. What was Damien's last name? Damien Anderson. Dame Anderson. Was he related? Was he named after the actress Dame Judith Anderson? I gotta wonder. Dame Anderson, Dame Judith. I don't know. She was a Vulcan in Star Trek 3. But anyway, yeah, really good movie, personal story. One of the best in the Creed franchise. Not that there's many in the Creed franchise. There's only 3 films in the Creed franchise. So I guess when I say one of the best in the Creed franchise, I'm just saying it's better than Creed 2. But I like Creed 2 and I like Creed 3 even more. Check out Creed 3. If you haven't seen Creed 3, it's really worth checking out. I really dug it. I want to go see it again. Time is not my friend. Time is not my friend. There's 3 movies in theaters right now that I want to see all of them a second time. Ant-Man 3, Creed 3, and Scream 6. Good luck. Time is not my friend. And Shazam opens this week. So, I don't know. Number 5. A film that a lot of you probably thought would be higher on my list because of my intense love of Mr. T. Number 5 is Rocky 3. I do like Rocky 3 quite a bit. It's the film that introduced the world to Mr. T. As most of you know, I am a huge Mr. T fan. But this is the film that started the Rocky franchise's descent into cartoonishness that reached its crescendo in Rocky 4. This is the film where Rocky fights a wrestler. He fights Hulk Hogan in this movie. So, yeah, the cartoonishness begins here, and then it just kind of elevates in the next film. I do love the movie. It is the film that brought us one of my heroes in Rocky 3. Yeah, big Rocky 3 fan. But there are 4 films in the franchise I like better than Rocky 3. Which brings us to number 4 on my list, Creed. The original Creed from 2015. When we heard that Michael Jordan was going to star in a film in which he played the son of Apollo Creed, a lot of people were skeptical. A lot of people were like, oh, come on, give the Rocky franchise, let it rest. Let it rest. But damned if this movie didn't blow everybody away. This movie really, really blew everybody away, and it's a terrific film. And Sylvester Stallone got an Oscar nomination for this film for his acting. Previously, he won the Oscar for the original Rocky, but it was for his writing because he wrote the screenplay. He won an Oscar for writing, not for acting. This time, he gets a Best Supporting Actor nod. Didn't win, but he got a nod for his performance as an aged Rocky Balboa who is fighting the fight of his life. And the fight of his life is not Clubber Lang. It is not Apollo Creed. It is not Ivan Drago. It is cancer. And it's a personal story for Rocky. And it's a wonderful introduction to the character of Adonis Creed, who went on to carry the franchise forward. I love this movie. A big, big high five to the original Creed, my number 4 pick. Number 3, the original sequel to Rocky, Rocky 2. How do you not love Rocky 2? This is the film where Rocky wins the championship. This is the one where Rocky becomes the champion. How do you not love that? It's got some of the best music Bill Conti ever wrote. The opening scene where the ambulance is on its way to the hospital. That overture from Rocky 2. Greatest music in the entire Rocky franchise. As great as Gonna Fly Now is, the Rocky 2 opening montage, or the ambulance trip to the hospital, that overture, even better. Bill Conti's greatest score ever. I love Rocky 2. Just about as good as it gets. But it does get better because my number 2 is Rocky Balboa, 2006's film in which Sylvester Stallone came back as an aged Rocky who wants to get back in the ring one last time. This is a powerful story that's got something to say about aging and continuing to keep moving forward even when you are later in your years and people think you can't do it anymore. This is a film that could have easily fallen flat on its face and been terrible, but it kind of revived the franchise And I love this movie. It's got the greatest quote in any of the Rocky movies. It's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Greatest line of dialogue in any of the Rocky movies right out of this 6th film, Rocky Balboa. I love Rocky Balboa. I especially loved how my dad reacted to Rocky Balboa. I went to see it. He was, up there in years. He was, suffering from some illnesses. His back wasn't so good. He couldn't. And this story about a man in his 60s coming back and fighting again really touched him. And watching how it touched my dad touched me even more. I have a great deep appreciation for this film. My number 2, Rocky Balboa. And number 1, the one that started it all, Rocky, the Best Picture winner of 1976. It doesn't get much better than the original. The true underdog story. How do you not love Rocky 1? It's a perfect film. It's a perfect film. There's nothing more I can say about it. 5 out of 5 stars. This is as good as it gets. It's the greatest sports film of all time. It's the greatest Philadelphia story of all time. And my hat's off to Sylvester Stallone for this film and this franchise, which means so much to this city and all the people that live in it. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. That is my worst to best, the Rocky franchise. I know my number 9 is going to be controversial. A lot of you are going to be like, no, Rocky 4 is the best. Sorry, guys, it's entertaining. It's not really that good. It's entertaining. Yes, I like it. But it's kind of dumb, too. I mean, it just is. All right, everybody, keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them bitches, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander adamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.